Welcome to the Selling Show, where we unpack, repack, and break down exactly how top experts sell their ideas, their value, and their services. This is your host, David Newman, and you are in the right place if you want better clients, bigger deals, and higher fees. All right, you need to stop right now. Stop whatever you're doing. Stop, pull over the car. Now, wait a minute. You don't want to stop. In fact, you want to be unstoppable. So I have the perfect guest. If you are ready to embrace your own unstoppableness, Gail Kasper, welcome back to the show.
Oh my God, David, it's so good to be here. It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me back. And thank you to all your listeners. I look forward to seeing how they implement, and hopefully you get that feedback on how they're going to implement what we're going to talk about today.
Well, hopefully they implemented what they heard us talk about last time, and we're also going to link this to the show notes because that was your previous appearance here on the Selling Show. And you have a new book out right now that is all about this thing that I was kidding here about earlier, about being unstoppable. And the unstoppable philosophy and all the components of becoming just an unstoppable human and an unstoppable professional. Where did that originate from? And give us kind of a high-level overview of the unstoppable philosophy as it's laid out in your book and in your speaking and training and coaching.
I do incorporate it, by the way, David, in all of my training, because no matter what I'm doing, whether it's life goals, motivation, sales, leadership, we've got to be able to maintain that logical mindset. And the idea of unstoppable, it's called S.A.D.T, which is the systematic attitude development technique. And it was from my own life. I started by myself on my own, had a one-bedroom apartment at the time, had to figure out how I was going to develop new clients and convince them that my sales programs could help them make big money, although I was just starting out and had just developed my program fresh and I was just coming out of the gates. And as you know, in sales, we're out there and we're faced with a lot of rejection, a lot of challenges, a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of fears that go with it. Because for those that are listening right now, you get the fact that your lifeline is there. That's how you make your money. It's how you earn a living. It's how you survive. So it's not just, hey, I'm going out and I'm selling it. It's you're graded on it. And you're graded financially on that. So with every single thing that I would do, every person I would pursue, and some of them high-level people like Michael Jordan, I had to find a space that was logical versus emotional. Because there's so much rejection and fear caught up in emotion, it would stop me. So I always got back to, especially if it's a high-level person, well, I promised I would call them Friday at 11 a.m. Well, that promise to call somebody Friday at 11 a.m. is logical. It's not, oh my God, I'm going to call, they're not going to pick up the phone. Oh my God, I'm going to call, it's going to go to voicemail. They're never going to answer. That's all emotional. Logic is, I said I was going to call 11 a.m. on a Friday, and I call 11 a.m. on Friday. So that's kind of how the system evolved. And then the more research I did about the systematic attitude development technique, think about emergency personnel. When they're dealing with, with somebody that's been shot, a major issue, a heart attack, they don't run from the scene. They have a logical process that keeps them in the game to save a life.
Yeah.
And if people can be logical to save lives, then we can certainly be logical and attain our goals. So that's the essence of the entire book. Get logical versus emotional to achieve.
Yeah, Gail, this is so great. This reminds me, when you talk about first responders, even military personnel, police, EMTs, there's a phrase that they use in the heat of the moment, in the heat of battle, whatever it is. The phrase is, and then the training kicked in. The training kicked in, right? That's the logical, the process, the steps. Do this, don't do that. Focus on this, don't focus on that. Literally, it's almost like they're on autopilot. And even though they're under tremendous duress, tremendous danger, tremendous stress, that phrase, and then the training kicked in, that is purely left brain, logical, stepwise, procedural. Here's what to do next. All of that sounds amazing, but we need the training. My friend, we need the training. So unpack this. What are some of the secrets? Because this gets hard, right? I mean, obviously, business gets hard, sales gets hard, entrepreneurship gets hard. Sales rep or an entrepreneur kind of hits the wall. They get that dry spell every so often. Like, oh my God, Gail, I'm not going to feed my family. I'm not getting a check this month.
Right.
My wife's going to kill me. My husband's going to kill me. My kids are going to kill me. The dog's going to kill me. By the way, the dog's probably not going to kill you.
No, the dog probably was like, hey, everything's cool.
How do we go from that panic and seeing red to let's go back to the logical, let's go back to the rational, let's go back to the quote unquote training? How do you recommend, or how do you do this with your clients and audiences?
I always refer to the process. So meaning that, all right, let's take an example that everybody can relate to. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and I'm going to go to the gym. And then you wake up at 5 a.m. and you're like, oh, I don't feel like going. Like, that's all emotional. Whereas if we don't go to that space, don't even allow ourselves a second in that space. Instead, it's get up out of bed, grab your bag, throw on your sneakers, and get in the car. You just do. So what I usually recommend to all the teams that I work with is, number one, to make a list. And I get back to writing this down. So it sounds so cliche because we've been hearing this for years. Make a list of things that you need to do, tasks that you need to do in a day to have a successful day. Now, something happens, and I always say to write it down, because something happens when you put it from your brain to paper, and your brain starts to try to figure out how to make it happen. It's like taking that, instead of biting everything off and just getting it done, you're kind of doing it in little pieces. So you're allowing yourself to go that step by step. So just merely make a list. What are the things I have to do today to have a successful day? Because meaning that, what if I do those things, I'm going to feel good. Then I want you to take that list and I want you to identify on that list the top 3 things that if you did them would produce the greatest positive results in your life. Because those are the things you're going to do first. You're not going to do the easy. Now, maybe one of them is easy. Awesome, if that's the case. But you are going to the things that if you did them, you would be like, okay, now I can chill. I got something done. As opposed to those days that you feel like, oh my God, nothing got done today. And I'm going to take you back to think about what before you go on vacation. Before you go on vacation, you're like, man, I am killing it. I'm on it. I'm getting everything done. So that's the space you're going into. What are the 3 things that if you did them would give you the greatest positive results? And then you're going to do those 3 things because obviously you do them, you feel good. There's a step 4 in the process, which is sometimes where we get hung up. And step 4 is to ask for help. I am a firm believer to get out of hell as quickly as you can. So especially in sales. Again, nothing easy about the job you're doing to get out there and sell. So you've got to have those go-to people that you can say, I'm having a tough time. I'm having a tough time moving forward. Like, I need your help, whatever that might be. Check in with me in 15 minutes. Maybe you're a salesperson too, and we do some of the activities together. But you actually have an investment of people that surround you that are the right people that can be that support. Because nothing is worse in life or in sales than being stuck. Nothing's worse than that.
Yeah, so for sure.
That gives you 4 simple steps. Obviously, the book itself is about 200 pages. So I go through a lot of different elements from looking at you to who are the people that are surrounding you.
Hang on. Let's back up the truck. Beep, 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 beep. Listen. I have a brand new sales book out there. You got to get your hands on it. It is awesome. It is amazing. It is fantastic. It is useful, practical, actionable, and a ton of bonuses are waiting for you over at doitselling.com. Grab your copy right now and grab all the bonuses, goodies, companion tools, and downloads that go with the book. You'll love it. I guarantee it. Let's dig a little bit deeper. I know that you have this concept and this framework of fueling your fire, right? And
Yeah.
FIRE is an acronym. Tell us about what that is and tell us about how we can implement that in our day-to-day professional lives and personal lives for that matter.
Yeah, it's something I've talked about in my TEDx talk. And it's the idea of fire, your ferociously important reason to exist. Meaning at some point in our lives, we knew what that was. We might have been a kid when we believed everything was possible, but it was ingrained in us, something we loved, something that we were passionate about. We may have pursued it as a career, maybe we didn't. But if you're uncertain about what that is, you want to find it. I mean, that is that one thing that you have to have. In other words, you're willing to risk yourself, you're willing to look stupid. It's almost like that person that you're so in love with and you'll fight for them. You don't care how you look in the process. You are going to fight for them until they see the value in you and they go out with you and they give you that opportunity. It's that same mindset. And it's the same with your fire. When you have figured that out, you're not, you're afraid. Yeah, there are risks, but you're still willing to do whatever you need to get it. So the idea here would be is understand, number one, what your strengths are. What are you great at? What are the things that you really do well? Go back to when you were a kid. What did you love to do? And then to find mentors that are in that specific arena that can guide you. Maybe at first it's just a hobby. Maybe it's something that you just love, you enjoy, you do on the side. Maybe you take classes for it. But you want to fill your life with the things that make you happy and bring you to peace. So your fire is something that can help you do that. And the systematic attitude development technique can help you follow through to get it, which is ultimately the ultimate goal.
Now, you also talk in the book about we don't just flip a switch like a light switch and this turns on. You say there's like different levels or different modes to that fire achievement, right? Survival mode, basic development mode, consciously aware mode. Walk us through kind of, not all of them necessarily, but what are some favorites that people will instantly recognize in themselves if they're going through it now with a certain problem or a certain challenge in their life?
When we look at basic development mode, we are in a space where we're just trying to get to, okay, we have a house, we're paying our bills, we're getting by in life. There isn't the extras, there isn't the real passion that we have in our life, but we are getting by. The survival mode is the scariest mode, which is right below that, which is we're not really getting by, we're existing. So we don't have that fuel, that fire that's within us. The one mode that I love more than anything is, when we're growing and we reach the extraordinary normal mode, which means that we've taken risks. We've seen success from those risks. We're starting to accept risk as a way of life. And the extraordinary normal mode is where we learn to live every element of our lives, is to be in that space so that then we can grow to the next level and then the next level.
Right. I love that term, by the way. So for folks listening, Gail didn't say extraordinary. She said extraordinary normal, where that new level becomes your new, would you say it's your emotional home, that you sort of live there most of the time and you still get maybe pulled by circumstance once in a while. But so many people live in Suckyville. And when something amazing happens, then they visit extraordinary normal or they visit, super achievement. Imagine if we lived in the extraordinary zone and we just occasionally got dragged into a bad part of town, but then we go right back home and we know where home is and we know what that feels like.
Right. And that's really true. And that's one of the reasons that I listed them like in a step-by-step order, because too many people right now in life are just accepting life as it is.
Yeah.
Meaning, David, think about this in terms of even weight loss. Some people, and it could be guy or girl, it doesn't make any difference, but they could look at somebody that's in great shape and be like, I'm not built that way. In other words, I'm accepting I'm 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight, whatever it is. I'm not built like that. I'm big boned. You know what I mean? In other words, I don't know the first place to start to get myself to that point. Right. So you just stay in this space of it's average. And we can do that in sales too. The sales reps that will get by. Okay, you had to make 10 sales a month. You made your 10 and, you're good. You don't know what it is to push for 15 to 20. And the goal in life is really to challenge yourself to do more, to achieve more.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really important. So I had an early mentor because I'm very, very tactical. And when you say they're looking at a goal or they're looking at some outcome and they really don't know what the first step is to get there, this early mentor of mine said to me, David, you're always asking these questions about the how. And I was like, yeah, I love the how. Give me the steps, give me the path, give me the roadmap. He says to me, how is the least interesting question. And I was like, whoa, dude, you're messing with my world right now. And he said, don't worry about the how. If you figure out the what and the where, right? So what is it we're trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Where is it that we are going, right? Paint that destination on the wall. 99.9%. The how is a commodity. The how you can get from a book, the how you can get from a coach, but you can have the world's greatest coach, the world's greatest trainer, the world's greatest consultant. And if you don't know what you want and you don't know where you're going, all of that coach's magic is being wasted on you. So everyone's like, well, how? It's like, no. What, and where? What do you want? Where are you going? Let's get that crystal clear. And then as far as sales, when we talk about prospecting conversation, find out what's their what, find out what's their where. Right. And then our job is to sell that destination, right? Yep. The mantra is sell the destination, not the transportation, because getting there is boring. Getting there, oh, well, you know what? It's 4 coaching sessions. The coaching sessions are 45 minutes each, not 30, not 60. 45 minutes each. You're going to get a workbook. The workbook has 26 pages in it. They're all really important. It's like, you lost the sale, dude. We're not buying hours. We're not buying coaching. We're not buying workbooks. We're not buying classes. We're buying the destination. So if we're not tapped into that for ourselves, much less if we're not tapping into our client's destination, I think we've totally lost the thread of what's important to them and what that sale is going to be hinging on.
And something, David, just to tag on to that gets back to, okay, me as a person, okay, destination is, I want to lose 20 pounds, whatever that destination is. Number one, I have to really believe I can get it.
Yeah.
And number two, I have to really want to put the work into it. Because if I want to put the work into it, it is like you said, I'm going to figure out how to get there. I'm going to start talking to the right people that will get me there. But if I don't have the discipline, if I don't have the focus, if I'm like, I would love that. Well, but it's not just going to get handed to you, dude. You got to do it on your own.
Yes.
So you've got to be committed to whatever it is you're saying. Because if you really don't want to do the work, don't say you want it.
Well, that's another great question, by the way. So whether it's sales, whether it's personal fitness, whether it's any of these things, there's a lot of social pressure. Right? There's a lot of social pressure to, I should want to be a great salesperson. I should want to save for retirement. I should want to lose this extra 20 pounds. But there's a huge difference, Gail, between saying that you want it, even saying it to yourself, and really wanting it.
Yeah.
So how do you separate that with your clients? And how do you uncover the real burning desire that will motivate them to action instead of the logical, well, I think I should be 20 pounds lighter. I think I should be top of the sales leaderboard, but I'm never top of the sales leaderboard. And hint, hint, I'm not changing anything about my behavior either. Right. So how do you unpack the real desire from the, let me say that I want it, but I don't really want it?
And I get that with people a lot, meaning that they say, this is what I want to do. And I just observe them. And it doesn't take me long to observe somebody's behavior to get the fact that they're not doing what they need to be doing to get there if they really do want it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty straight up. I come out and say, well, is that what you really want? Well, then why aren't you doing X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
Like, in other words, I want to get to the root of the why they're not doing those things. Well, I've tried that and it really doesn't work. Well, how long did you try it for? What was your consistency in trying it? Because
Yeah.
there isn't anything that I have seen, David, in my life, maybe other people it's different, but in my life, that has come easy. It is a step by step process. It's like
Yeah.
one time I had watched a girl that wanted to become one of those professional eaters.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, okay, she's a skinny little girl. She wants to be a professional eater. My head was kind of like, well, I don't know. Can she? But what I watched with her was this level of consistency in building her portfolio to accomplish and eat more and more and more and more. And she didn't deviate from that consistency. And she built a following on YouTube that's several 100,000 followers. Now, when you look at something like that, getting to just 1,000, you think to yourself, how the hell do I do that?
Yes.
Let alone several 100,000. But it's the consistency, meaning, oh, I'm only at, 500 followers. No, it was like, okay, I got 500. This is what I want to do. This is what's in my heart. This is what's important to me. So hopefully people come on board and enjoy it and they appreciate my talent, my skill, and they'll follow me. But you're not doing it because I want to, I want to kill the world with YouTube followers. I want to go
Yeah.
viral. You don't do it for that reason. You do it because it's in your heart. So that's the first place you got to get to.
Yes, I know. Terrific episode here, but have you seen our latest web training? Oh my goodness, pop over there right now, or as soon as you're done listening to this episode, it's doitmarketing.com/webinar. See you over there. Back to the good stuff. This to me is both so fascinating and so frustrating, because if you talk to almost anybody on any social media, whether it's, oh my God, I've got zillions of Instagram followers, I've got zillions of YouTube views, none of these people, they will literally tell you, like almost to a person, I had no idea that it would take off the way that it did. I was just doing what I loved, talking about stuff that's important to me, and you'll literally hear this, Gail. People have like hundreds of thousands of followers on any of these platforms, and they say, I really just did this because I needed to. I needed to get this out there. I wanted to help people. Even if I help one person, that's the cliche, right? Even if I help one person, and it's like, well, but they're serious. They're absolutely drop dead serious. So it's like the people that have the intention, I'm going to go viral, I'm going to have millions of followers, they never, ever make it. Like never.
No, they're gone.
Totally counterintuitive, right? So what is it that keeps the person going at 500 followers, 500 YouTube channel subscribers? Is it just detachment, or is it something else that's going on? Is it the fire piece? What's going to keep them going when the metrics are going slower than they might like?
So slow. Exactly. You're kind of like, okay, how many? 501 today. Awesome.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. It is that fire piece of it. It's the desire inside of you that you're committed to doing this and you're going to do it as much as you can do it, but there's a consistency in what you're doing and you enjoy it and you keep yourself out there and you're not watching the numbers.
Yeah.
You're just doing your thing and you're working to be better. You're so focused on working to be better that you're not worried about what's going on behind you.
Yeah.
I want to keep moving. Wait, I got this far. I know I can get this from, I did this. Now I can do that. So it's just a matter of continuing the process, but we fall short on consistency because, okay, well, we got tired or it wasn't that important, or we wanted it to be overnight. Like you said, I'm going to go be a viral sensation, and we're not.
Yeah. So that's so important. It's funny. I had a guest on couple months ago named Ben Albert. And in that episode, he talks about a guy that brushes his teeth for 6 hours on one day and then never again. And then someone that brushes their teeth, like most of us do, for 2 minutes every day. Who's going to have better teeth at the end of the year? The person that brushes their teeth 2 minutes every day. It's like, no, but this guy was down to the enamel. He had like 6 hours of brushing. Doesn't that count? No. Consistency counts.
Yes.
Right? Show up every day, rain or shine, happy or sad, feel like it or not, just like you said about going to the gym, right? Just get on the shoes, throw the bag in the car, and go. Whether you do 2 reps or 20 reps, you're at least in the gym, right?
Yes.
Some days it's like, you know what, 2 reps and I'm not feeling it. I'm going to go home. Great, go home. Now, usually that doesn't happen. When you're in the gym, you're like, okay, whatever, let's go. You're making that extra sales call. You're making that extra outreach on LinkedIn, whatever it is, but you're in the game every single day. And that consistency is what wins the race. And it's the consistency that gains attention.
Well, look at this. Let's take the same YouTube application where we're going to go viral and people drop off the face of the earth.
Right.
Same with losing weight or sales or anything. If you start saying, I'm going to sell $1 million worth of product this month, and it's so big and it's consuming you to think about that. And you're not thinking about the action steps that can take you there. Or you're thinking about the gym and, okay, I got to lose 30 pounds. I got to lose 30 pounds. Well, no, like you said, just get there. Just start. Forget about the end goal. It's ironic because usually it's always keep the end goal in mind, keep your focus, don't lose sight of it. It's right there. It's the opposite of that. This is get moving, take action, build momentum, give it time, be consistent. And you still have that fire inside you. You still have those goals inside you, but you're not just, that's it. That's a do all end all. I fail if I don't do that. Because it isn't that. It isn't. You are succeeding every time you take a step towards success.
So important. Baby steps to big results. Right?
Yes.
Baby steps to big results.
That's exactly right.
I love it. Well, Gail, where can people get the book? Where can people get connected and stay connected to more Gail Kasper brilliance? Where can we send them? What links are in the show notes?
GailKasper.com is my website, and that can take you to Unstoppable or Sell Like a Cockatoo. And you can Google, Unstoppable, 6 easy steps to find and achieve your fire. You can find that. It is available online, is available on Amazon. It is available on Apple Books. So GailKasper.com is a great resource, though, for everything. And that's with a K, like the ghost, but with a K.
There you go. Like the ghost, but with a K. So all of that, all those links, including to the book and to your TED Talk and to your website, all those wonderful things directly under this episode at thesellingshow.com. Gail Kasper, you're a rock star. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by and making us unstoppable.
Thank you, David. And thank you to everybody out there for listening.
And that wraps up another episode of The Selling Show. Hey, tell you what, if you like us, rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts, subscribe, tell a friend, go grab the notes and downloads and extras at thesellingshow.com. See you next time.